Is self-talk costing you business? And you say, what? Self-talk? Those words that I say to myself? The answer is yes. It could be costing you business. I'm Angela Brown. I'm a content creator, and I myself am recovering from burnout. This is my story, and we are on day 23 of coming back from burnout. Now, I woke up this morning, and my first thought to myself was, check it out. I've already recovered from my knee surgery. I feel no pain whatsoever. My second thought was, then why am I getting up early to go work out? Oh, wait a second. This is the self-talk that I'm talking about. Sometimes we reach goals in our business and we get so excited about reaching those goals that we talk ourselves out of the very thing that got us to the goal. And we sabotage our success. It's like we lose the weight and we say, wow, check it out. I feel fantastic. I look great and I've lost all this weight. And then what do? We say, well, it's not going to hurt me if I eat all that Halloween candy. Then we eat the Halloween candy and boom, we're right back where we were with the extra weight. It is us talking ourselves out of the very thing that got us to the success in the first place. So my question to you, what is your self-talk saying? Now, if you're not paying attention and you don't know what your self-talk is, did you know that there's a thought process that runs through your mind 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every year for all of your life? And those words are words that you told yourself. These are tapes and conversations that we replay over and over in our heads. And sometimes we try to tweak them a little bit. We try to change the scripts so that it makes us feel better about ourselves. But the reality is some of us are sabotaging our own success and driving ourselves into burnout. So my question to you is, what are you saying to yourself? Now, if you're not very strong, and I say mentally strong, meaning you can like say, wow, wicked thought, we're not thinking that. Are you able to combat that and replace it with a positive thought? Now, I know, for example, I was not. I heard negative things about myself and about my business, and I had moments of doubt creep in. And for years, I believed that I wasn't good enough, that I didn't deserve the money I was earning, that I didn't deserve to have a voice and to share a message. And what happened was every time I would sneak upon success, I would hurry and destroy it and erase it as if it wasn't there. Imagine you have a really nice dinner plate, and the dinner plate is china and it's fancy and it deserves a delicious meal. And if somebody puts food on that plate and it's out in the air in the open and it's not taken care of, what can happen is that food can go moldy. And that plate is now holding negative, gunky food, right? It doesn't mean the plate is bad. It doesn't mean it's not worthy of a delicious meal. What it means is that it is harboring and holding and storing and stashing junky food that's moldy and icky and smells bad. A lot of us are holding in these amazing bodies that we have, icky, moldy thoughts that, I don't know, came from us. They came from our social media followers. They came from parents. They came from spouses. They came from siblings. They came from people that don't think we're worthy to have a message in the marketplace, or they don't think we are smart enough to share the message, or they don't think we have the right education to share the message, or what have you. And so we play those tapes over and over and over again as if this nice dinner plate was holding onto the rotten food. But what happens if we take that dinner plate and we wash and sanitize it and we say, hey, wait a second, clean slate here. I am ready for a delicious meal. That same exact delicious piece of china is now ready for the most amazing, tasty dinner ever. But we have to clear away the crap in order to put the new food on that plate. Our bodies, our vessel here is that dinner plate that is worthy of a delicious meal or worthy of successful business. And so I want you to ask yourself, what are you saying to yourself when you're driving along in the car, either taking your kids to school or you're running to the grocery store? What are the thoughts that are running through your head? And if you're not paying attention, I promise you this, there's going to be a default. And your brain is going to default to whatever it is that you've been harboring on that plate. Okay. I made a new tape. I said, if there's a tape playing in my head and I'm playing it all of the time, don't I want to have control over what that says? Now, many content creators have what's called imposter syndrome, and they believe that they're not the right person for the message they're delivering. And they feel like they're going to get found out. Someone's going to find out that they're what, human? Well, guess what? I got news for you. It's the tape you're playing in your head. I sat down and I consciously made a new tape. And I said, if I was a fancy piece of china and I was ready for a delicious meal, i.e., success in my business, what would that look like? What would I be doing? How would I feel? How would I look at the world? Now, I want you to create your own tape, because the strongest voice in your head is your own voice. It's the voice that's playing in your head 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for every year, for the rest of your life. I want it to be in your voice. But in the notes below, I've given you my tape. So listen to it and use it as a template. Get some ideas from it and say, oh, yes, I believe that too. I don't believe that. I want to make an adjustment to that. Make your own adjustment and then record it. And there are lots of recording programs on the planet today. There is no shortage whatsoever. You can do nothing other than download a free app on your phone, record it into your phone, and there you have it inside your phone. You can sit in front of a Zoom recorder and just hit record and record it into Zoom. It does not matter. What matters is that you listen to it over and over and over and over again. And when you go to bed at night, listen to it over and over. And while you're sleeping, fall asleep to it, so that when you wake up in the morning, you've had 8 hours of positive reinforcement playing through your head over and over again. What happens is this: your body, and I promise you this, your body will start trying to make it come true. You listen to something over and over and over again, you start to believe it. And then you start to act it out. And then it starts to happen in your life. And then it becomes easy and effortless. And all of the things that you've been running from because you self-sabotage them suddenly start coming true for you. And you start believing, I am worth it. I do have the voice. I do have the experience and the knowledge and the wisdom to share my message with the world. I do have that. And you start believing in yourself. So what are the self-talk words that you're using? That's my question for you today. And if you're not sure, listen to my tape. Listen to it over and over and over and over again until you come up with the content for your own tape. And I want you to listen to it until you start believing it and until your life starts to change. Because if you've been following me for the last 22 days, today's day 23, we've gone through a lot of stuff. And we've repaired our cellular level of our body. We've repaired our attitude and our brains and our bodies. And we started exercising. We started intermittent fasting. We started changing the preservatives in the foods that we eat. And there's a whole bunch of little things that we've started doing that have brought us on a journey to become a whole entire new person. So my question to you is this: if you are a new person, are you listening to old tapes? Because you're not that person anymore. This is the new normal. This is the new you. And you need a new tape to go along with that. All right, that's it for today. All right, I'm going to give you a quick update, tell you how I'm doing, and then I want to leave you with the encouragement to create your own tape. All right, so how did I do? Well, I'll tell you what, let's talk about sleep for a second. I got 6 hours and 17 minutes of sleep last night. And I did something last night that I'm really proud of. I don't think I've done it since I've been a grown adult. And that is I went to bed before I was physically exhausted. I usually wait until I just can't keep my eyes open anymore. And then I go and I collapse into sleep. And last night I went to bed and I was wide awake. I was like, what happens if I go to bed early and I'm wide awake? Am I going to toss and turn and not be able to sleep? And that did not happen. I went in, I lied down, I closed my eyes, I relaxed, and guess what? I fell asleep almost immediately. And then I slept all the way through the night so soundly. And then the alarm went off this morning and I woke up and I was like, oh, look, check it out. It's the next day. I got 6 hours and 17 minutes of sleep. So hooray for me. That I think that is a record for a very long time. And I felt so rested when I woke up this morning. All right. So I'm very happy about that. All right, then the next thing is I have been focusing on hydration, and I drank 110 ounces of water yesterday. I was going to drink a couple ounces more. My goal has been about probably 112, but I fell asleep and there's a little bit of water left inside my last water jug. So I clocked in at about 110 ounces. All right. So for the intermittent fasting, you guys know I've been intermittent fasting for 23 days now. And my alarm just went off that said, hey, it's time for you to eat again. And I've switched the times that I've eaten during the day with about a 24-hour window in between each one. And I've been doing a lot of research and a lot of studies on intermittent fasting to make sure that what I'm doing is the correct approach. And I keep looking at how I feel, like my body as a guide. How do I feel? Do I feel faint and like, oh, I'm so hungry? I don't. I felt absolutely great. And I don't remember a time in my adult life where I felt this good. So I have to keep thinking, okay, well, it must be working. And so I just got an alarm that said, hey, it's time for you to eat again. And I thought, wait a second, I'm not even hungry. And then I thought to myself, when is there a time when I had to make an alarm to remind myself to eat? And then I thought, what happens if I don't eat and I go for another few hours of not fasting, right? So I'm now at that point where I'm okay. I'm all right. This is working for me. I'm okay with this. All right. The next thing is the nourishment. And I'm really proud to say that when I am eating, I'm really focused on the types of food that I eat. And I also started asking myself, am I eating until I'm full, or am I eating and because I'm eating, that's making me full? I used to just eat whatever there was on my plate. And now it's like, hey, wait a second. I'm satisfied. I don't need to eat more. And yesterday I was going to eat more. And then I looked around and I was like, I don't really need more. I feel perfectly satisfied and I feel like I ate enough. And I clocked in yesterday for the whole day at about 1,200 calories, which is a lot for, a couple of days that I've done even less than that, but it wasn't 2,000 calories and I felt perfectly fine. So as I'm dropping weight and as I'm finding the balancing in my weight, I feel like I'm doing just fine. So now I'm listening to my body saying, I'm going to let my body guide me and tell me if I need a little bit more. And if I need a little bit more, I'll eat a little bit more. And if I'm satisfied and I feel good, I'm not going to overdo it. So that's kind of how I'm doing that right now. But healthy foods with no preservatives. That's my goal. All right. So the next thing is my workouts. I am really excited about the workouts I'm doing. I've started to do some strength training and I've started to build some muscle. So as I look at myself on the scale, I've been in the same range for about a week and a half. And we talk about self-talk. I got a little discouraged yesterday because I had lost so much weight the first 2 weeks that I was on this program. And then I said, well, I'm not losing any weight. Maybe it's not working anymore. Maybe I've reached a plateau. And then I started realizing I've been really going all out massive action on my workouts, and I've started to build some muscle, and muscle is more dense than just my body fat. So I was like, maybe because I'm burning and I'm building more muscle, that maybe that's where the extra weight is. And maybe my body is just going to find a balance in there somewhere. So I believe if I stay on the program and I keep exercising and working out and doing the intermittent fasting, that I will find that perfect balance. My goal originally was to drop 40 pounds and I'm down 15. So I still have some weight to lose, but in the process, I've been building muscle and really starting to tone my body. So what I'm seeing is I'm visually seeing a lot of the cellulite is dropping off my body. And in exchange for that, I'm starting to get toned. So I'm very happy about the results, in spite of the fact that it doesn't all look like weight loss. So I'm on the journey and we'll see where it goes. But my workouts are really, really strong and I'm feeling really good. All right. The next thing is my moods and my attitudes. And over the last couple of weeks, I've really paid attention to the fact on a scale of 1 to 10, every day I rate my moods. And there are a couple of days that maybe I was a 5 or a 6, but my moods for the last several days have been at about a 10. And when my moods dipped, what I was doing is I was going all day, working all day, using all my brain power during the day, and I was eating at night. I was trying to eat when my husband got home from work so that we could eat dinner together. and I was a little bit not on my A game. So then I changed that and I went back to eating in the morning, where then my body could process the food throughout the day while I was working and while I was using the brain power. And then while I'm sleeping at night, my body doesn't need so much food or brain power or whatever. And so it changed and my moods went back up again. So if you're on a program and it's not quite working for you, give yourself permission to make a few small tweaks. But for me and my attitudes and my moods, that was one of the things that made a difference for me, was switching the time of day that I eat. All right, the next thing is my content creator progress. What business progress am I making? And I'm really excited to say that in the last couple of weeks, I've created 2 courses and I'm teaching one of those courses twice today. I've got 2 live group coachings where I'm doing those courses twice today live. So I'm really excited about that because these are courses that I just put together, and I'm really excited that now I get to present them and we'll tweak them. And if there are questions that members of the audience ask, then I will add those into the course because the course is so new, I'm able to do that. So the progress has been phenomenal. And I just love watching, as a content creator, new things come to life. So really excited about that. Some of the challenges that I'm facing are some of the technologies. There are a bunch of things that I don't know how to do. And so I keep asking myself, how do I do this? Like, one of the things that I wanted to do on the website, the lifelongproductions.com/burnout, was I'm making this video for you every day. And what I wanted on the blog page was I wanted there to be the cover art, and then I wanted there to be an active button on the cover art where you click that and you can watch this video. And I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to do it. And how I figured out how to do it, it was a challenge because I kept trying to write a code that would then pull in the video, but because it's a live stream, the live stream didn't want to come in a video link. And there were a bunch of weird little things that happened. But what I figured out to do was to create an overlay, a clear overlay, and to put it inside the space where there was to be a video. And the link would then link to, with a dynamic link, to the live stream link of the day. But then behind it in Elementor, I pulled in behind as a background image, the featured image for that blog. So the featured image is there. In the bottom corner, it says, watch now, or something like that. And then when you click on that, it takes you to the dynamic link, which is the YouTube video. So I finally figured it out yesterday and I was so excited. And then I had absolutely no one to share my joy with, because it's one of those little content creator moments where I did something really cool, but there's nobody in my world that would, number one, understand what I just said, and number two, think that that was cool. So I had one of those little private celebrations, like, woohoo! And then it was just me and no one to enjoy it. So there you go. All right. The next thing is, do follow me if you haven't already. It's lifelongproductions.com/burnout. That is where I'm doing this, the rest of this series. And I have news for you, because we've decided that instead of just going forever and just doing this burnout series forever, it's going to stop at 30 days. So today's day 23. We've got another week before this series ends. And so I've discovered that I'm already through burnout recovery. I'm already on the other side of it. And if I went forever, what does that say about the recovery process? If you have to recover from burnout and it takes you 3 years, well, that's probably not a very good program to follow, right? So if we can wrap it up in 30 days, that would be awesome. And I'm going to keep the blog alive so that I can keep you posted on my progress, because I'm going to continue all the health and the wellness, and the daily progress updates will continue on the website, but this live show will not. We've already figured out the next 30-day program that we're going to do, and it's going to be a comedy, and how to add comedy and humor into the content that you create. And I'm working with PJ Barnes, who is a comedian and a magician, and he's an actor as well. So he's going to be sharing with us some really awesome stuff on how to add comedy and humor into the content that we create. So we're not going to keep doing this every day, but we're going to continue teaching you new and wonderful ideas through lifelongproductions.com. And that is the company that I'm working with right now to give you a shout out for, lifelongproductions.com. They help content creators finish the projects that they start, and create better content to reach a better audience. So if you have not joined us already, join us over at lifelongproductions.com. All right, that is it for today. I want you to leave links and comments and notes in the notes below. And I want you to tell me, what kind of self-talk are you saying right now? And what words are you going to change? And then if you have a link and you want to share yours, share your link with me in the notes below. I would love to hear your new tape. All right, that is it for today. Now, as you create your new tape, I want you to remember 2 things. Number 1, you matter. Number 2,